Hi y'all, I'm Chase. This is my 2013 Dyna Fat Bob with a 103, affectionately known as Mary Jane. And today we're going to talk about your local dealership. Now, where I live, I'm smack dab in between two dealerships that are, well, it takes just about the same amount of time to get to. One, because West Virginia is, the whole area where I drive through is nothing but construction and 45-mile-per-hour zones, so that really sucks. And the other one is in Ohio. No construction, 70 miles per hour the whole way there, except for, well, on my couple of little roads that I got to go through, but it's 70 the whole way there pretty much, except for 3.1 miles. So my local dealership has turned into the Dover one, even though the Dover one, it's more miles to get to it. I think the Dover one's about 50 and the West Virginia one is about 38. I think it's 38. But because the traffic is so horrifically bad, it takes less time for me to get to Dover. Now, that doesn't sound right, but well, that's just the way it is. I'm not good at the maths, but I know it takes me less time because I've timed myself. So, I did used to have a dealership that was about 15 to 20 miles away. I did like that dealership. It was pretty nice to go to. I'm sad that they're closed. Some of those guys that were at that dealership started working at the West Virginia dealership, but the length of time it takes to get there, it actually takes longer to get there by about, I think it was like 12 minutes or no, 14 minutes. Takes me 14 minutes longer, a 14-minute longer trip than it does to get to the one in Dover. So that construction, if I was one of those companies, I would probably complain. I would probably complain because they should have been doing this stuff last year when there was literally no traffic. During COVID, there was literally no traffic that whole way. I know because I went there a couple of times. But instead of doing that, they did nothing. So now they're kind of stuck losing. Well, I'm going to say they're going to lose business because I bought plenty of stuff up at this other Harley dealership because it just takes me less time to get to. It's more convenient. It's not that the Dover one is any better. They're a nice shop. I don't have any problems with the people there. They usually have the parts I need. Both places are, it's you know, apples to apples. It's literally the same place. I see a cop car with flashing lights. They might be pulling somebody over up there soon. When you go to the dealership, and I know some of you are probably you ride foreign bikes and stuff like that. What's your experience with going to foreign dealer? You know, to any dealerships? I mean, Harley, Honda, Yamaha. The only local dealership I have that is very close, they sell Japanese bikes. And I go in there all the time. I've been looking to kind of get something smaller for maybe when my cousin comes down. So if he wants to take his car down. Man, they are out today. Yeah, I'm doing 70, so I'm not speeding. But anyways, back to dealerships. I'm not sure I've ever been to one where I was treated awful or weird. And I know most Harley guys don't wear a helmet, or a majority, I don't know. I see a lot of, like, everybody I've seen go by on the last couple bikes I've waved at, none of them were wearing helmets. So I guess that's just a Harley thing. I mean, I've seen sport bike guys go without helmets too, so I guess that happens a lot. I guess it's just a motorcycle thing. But I never had people at the Harley dealer, any of the Harley, you know, salesmen or front counter workers or anyone else give me crap about wearing a helmet, so. But I've never had that. I've seen other people, well, I guess they videotaped it, I guess. Cycle Cruiser has problems with that. But he's wearing a yellow vest and all that stuff, so maybe that makes a difference. I look a little more, I don't know, Harley rider-ish. And maybe that's why they don't say anything. But I like going to local dealers because they usually have what you need in stock. And they also can perform, you know, maintenance stuff that you'd rather not do yourself. Like me, I don't trust myself to get a tire straight. I could pull the front tire and put a new front tire on, and I could, you know, take it off and put it on. But I don't trust myself to get the rear tire straight on my bike because in my head, even if it was straight, I'm gonna think it's off some, you know, it's canted a little bit one way or the other, and it's gonna drive me nuts. My OCD just, my brain will make me think that it's not straight even when it is. So having a local dealer where you can get something done like that, have a rear tire installed, that's something very nice to have. And if you don't go to those dealers and you order all your parts online, especially not from those dealers, that dealer probably won't stay in business as long as they might go out of business. You know, you never know how much parts and service actually makes for these little places. Hopefully that guy understands what a tap on the helmet is. Now that guy was wearing a helmet amazingly, so. But without service and parts, without being able to sell that stuff, I'm not sure how many of these dealerships can stay open. I know they don't make much on new bikes. They make more of their money on used bikes. It's just the same way with car dealers. They don't make a lot of money on the new stuff. They make more money on the used stuff. The markup on the used stuff's it's a lot more. You can get they get a used anything for $3 or $4 grand. They charge $6 to $8. But that's the other reason I like to go to dealerships and, you know, spend a little bit of money there when I can. If they tell me I can't get the part, it's going to take me a month to get it, then yeah, I'm probably going to have to go and order it online. But if I look online, it's going to take me a month online to get it too, then I'll get it from the dealer. The other thing, they will sometimes price match as long as you're getting it from another dealer. So you can actually ask them if they'll price match. They won't price match with Amazon or Walmart or anyone like that because, I mean, they just can't do that. They can't, they're on already some narrow profit margins, and Amazon's going to sell 1,000 of a part. That dealership may sell 10. So if Amazon only makes $1 profit, you know, they make $1,000. If the dealership sells 10 of those parts, they're not going to make $1,000 profit. Usually they may mark it up $5 or, you know, $4 or maybe $8. So they're not going to make $1,000 or even close to it, but that little bit of markup will keep them in business. Plus, the dealership also has, I don't know what you want to call it, camaraderie events. You know, where you can go and meet new people and hang out, look at other people's bikes and stuff. I mean, that's kind of cool. Those are harder to come by now, but Harley's Harley. So they're not so freakishly weird about, you know, masking up. Bikers are less freakishly weird about that. They don't care. You're already riding something that you could get killed on every time you go out on it, so a virus that has a 99.95 percentile, you know, survival rate, yeah, that doesn't really scare a biker all that much. So, but camaraderie events are nice. I like going to them. Sometimes they'll have food or music or stuff like that. You know, you get to meet a lot of new people. See bikes. Oh, that's the other thing. You know, you get to see a lot of different kinds of bikes. I mean, I've even seen, you know, European bikes. I mean, like sport bikes, Triumphs. I've seen all kinds of things at these camaraderie get-togethers they have at Harley dealers. And you know, it's funny, I always heard Harley guys were so, I don't know, prickish about other brands besides Harley. If it's not a Harley, it's not a real bike. I haven't experienced that at all in my entire life. And yeah, I know it probably helps with sales at the dealer and stuff like that, but you know, it serves two functions instead of just for sales for them. So I don't see a problem with it. And they're a business, so I mean, that's their job, is to, you know, try to sell bikes. But yeah, I've been to camaraderie events at both, you know, European and, well, not European, but foreign bike dealerships and Harley dealerships. And really, they're about the same. Nobody cares what you're riding, and you know, everybody seems to appreciate. I know a lot of Harley guys, and they appreciate, you know, sports bikes. They understand that, damn, they're fast. But they're, you know, they just, you know, like Harleys. And a lot of, the weird thing is, you talk to them, and a lot of them, they started out on sport bikes. You know, they started out on you know, 600s, or, you know, they moved up to a 1000, and they were riding those for a while. But then they decided they were going to get a Harley, or they tried a Harley out, and something about it, they just liked a lot. That's what happened with me. I did try a Harley first because, I mean, when I was a kid, that's what everybody had. So it's kind of weird, because you always hear that, you know, sport bike riders don't like Harley guys, and Harley guys don't like sport bike riders. I mean, I wave to everybody. I think that's stereotypes. But you know, everybody on two wheels seems to be pretty cool with everybody else. So, but I like that about dealerships. You know, those brotherhood events. And like I said, I do like seeing what everybody else has done. You know, guys come up with some stuff you would never believe at some of these. You know, stripping down a sport bike, or fairing out a Sportster. I've seen kind of everything. Some really cool stuff. Guys that have, you know, built their own stuff, you know, guys that have made their own mounts for stuff, well, you know, like this. Now granted, I know it probably doesn't look great, but hey, it's better than that piece of crap plastic one that I had hanging off my handlebar. It'd vibrate around, I couldn't keep it straight, and it would always lose where I wanted it to be. This, it's mounted, it's stable, it's not going anywhere, I like it. Works out just fine for me. Yeah, you get to see stuff that other people, you know, came up with. And sometimes you can get a really good idea that way. Now, I seen a guy that had bought a mount for his Power Vision. I think he said it was somewhere around like 200 bucks. Somebody tells me something's 200 bucks and it's something this simple. I started thinking I might be able to make that for myself for quite a bit less. And that's what I did. So, that's the other thing I like going to dealerships. Sometimes you see stuff that, you know, you're not going to see anywhere else. Get ideas. You know, you see people with the same kind of bike you have with different exhausts. Now, that's what I like, I think, the most is, you know, chatting with other people, finding out about what they, you know, what they've done to their bike, how it worked out. You know, if they thought, you know, what they did was worth it. I really like that a lot. Because, you know, you get a good idea. You talk to 4 or 5 guys that have all done the same thing to their bike, and every one of them's telling you, yeah, I wish I would have done this instead of this. Well, geez, that's 4 or 5 guys telling you that. You know, I guess you could go on forums and find out, but it's better to talk to someone in real life. You know, you can see the look on their face when they tell you. It's less likely they're just blowing smoke up your butt. It's less likely that there's some kind of influencer for some other company. So I think that's my favorite part about going to, you know, dealerships for stuff. Especially, you know, the camaraderie events. I think that's all. I'm going to end it here. Let me know down in the comments, you know, how it is at your dealerships where you live, your guys' experience. Like and subscribe too. And don't forget to flick that ding-a-ling to be notified of any new videos I come up with. Bye, y'all.